A moment. There we go. Welcome everybody to the Sherwood City Council meeting. It is November 25th, 2024. Time is 6 p.m. We will begin with a prayer from Pastor Todd Duran from the First Baptist Church.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the freedoms that we enjoy in our country. Father, we thank you for the city in which we live. Lord, we just lift up our mayor, our city council to you. Lead and guide them, give them wisdom as they discuss city business. Father, be with our police chief, police officers, all our firefighters. Lord, just protect them and keep them safe. We're so thankful for the citizens of our great city, Lord, and we just pray that everything said and done will be to your honor and glory. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Brooks. Here. Harmon.
Here.
Lilly.
Here.
Sanders.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Broderick.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Wade.
Here.
You all have been sent the minutes from the regular meeting on October 28th, 2024. Actually, it was special meeting, correct? No, we don't have those yet. On the regular meeting as transcribed.
Move for adoption.
Second.
We have a motion for adoption from Councilmember Brooks and a second from Councilmember Sanders. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
You all were emailed the October 2024 financials. Any questions? Moving on to committees and or commissions. Advertising and Promotion Commission, Councilmember Brooks.
First off, the minutes are in the packet. There is one small correction on the minutes that I've received a call on. Instead of Arkansas Bank and Trust as a person, or as the institution that will be for our new CD, it is First Arkansas Bank and Trust. So that needs to be noted. The budget was approved by the A&P Commission for 2025, and that budget is in your packet. If anyone hasn't looked at it, it was approved. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me or anybody else on the commission. Also in the minutes, Nita Pilkington was honored as a longtime member, 19 years on the commission, and she received her plaque and duly noted as a longtime serving member. We're going to miss her. She served very well in that position. I also want to point out, of course, our Trail of Lights is going to be starting up here soon, and that will be from Friday, November 29th, starting at 5 p.m., and that was in the Arkansas Dem Gazette last week as one of the 10 must-see light events across the state. So I do want everybody to realize this year it is free, no reservations required. It is free of charge, and there will be some QR codes throughout the trail if we will accept donations. So please donate in order to have a nice display for next year. And besides that, I'm open for any questions. No vote, no. There will be no meeting until next year. So this is it for A&P until next year. Any questions, anybody?
Well, I've got a question. I've had a couple of people ask, why do we not have people at the end to receive money anymore?
The under the advisement of the police department, for one, they feel it's a better flow of traffic for them. and it causes the traffic to move easier and not back up traffic on 107. And I'll refer that to Captain Hager. Is that your best assessment, sir? Excuse me, Chief
Yeah,
Hager.
also, the hours have been extended extensively, Councilmember Sanders, from 5 till midnight. So,
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Oh,
I
that's-
demoted you, but, after seeing you the other night.
That's
you know,
okay. That's perfectly.
That was a throwback.
yeah, that's-
Hey, Mitch, I'm sorry.
Perfectly understandable. So what happens when we were taking the donations at the end? It's that slinky effect. Everybody stops and it backs it up through the trail, and that backs it up onto 107. So that was the recommendation we made last year. So
also having personally gone out there and worked it to kind of see how it all goes, people are not carrying cash like they once did. And so then you've got the digging through the console trying to find some change or something, and it really holds up things.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
All right, Parks and Recreation Committee, Councilmember Harmon.
We did not meet in November. We will not meet in December. I will never meet with that committee again. But
Wow, that's aggressive.
it is on. Yeah. But anyway, but I've loved all my years on Parks and Recreation. Absolutely adored it. So unless you have some questions for me about Parks and Recreation specifically,
I do.
okay?
One, another comment back to A&P. Thank you, Councilmember Harmon, for serving on A&P. You too will be missed on there as well.
And I want to say thank you for all the wonderful work that A&P has done this year with Parks and Recreation and for the parks in Sherwood. It has just been, y'all have been wonderful to work with. And over the years, you've been wonderful to work with. Advertising and promotion, what y'all have done for the city. I don't think the people of the city realize how much advertising and promotion does for the city, and especially for parks. So
We were
I will
glad to
return
open that new accessible playground this year in conjunction with parks, so that was great. But there's been a lot of comments on social media, I'm sure everybody's seen them, about the wall and about the different colors of paint. So we have clarification
Different
on that?
colors, it's different colors of brick.
Brick, yes.
Brick, different colors of brick because the brick can't be matched.
Right.
And the plan is to paint the brick. I don't know what the timing is on that.
Yeah, so you have to, you can't put it up and immediately paint it. There's a cure period, which is approximately 6 weeks, and then the temperature needs to be right. But the contract is for them to paint it. It'll be a neutral color that'll work with the stone and also with the, the interior of the sign itself. But there's too many variations of different color bricks. Bricks age and change in color over time, and so this is really a better solution to where you can match up paint easier in the future.
It's going to be a nice neutral orange with some green polka dots that won't attract.
Fuchsia,
Purple?
No,
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just wanted that, since that's been out there, that to be
Yes.
addressed by, everybody can have a correct answer now on what's gonna happen with the wall.
All right. Then we've got a resolution.
We have a resolution before you giving approval for the leasing of the Duran Youth Center building. You all should have Mr. Cobb put one down, and I know that Councilmember Williams also has some friendly amendments with it. Would you like to come up, Oscar, and just be prepared with that? We have several people who have signed up to speak. One of the things that Councilmember Williams did want me to remind everybody of, this is a nonprofit organization. So, Mr. Cobb, would you like to announce the different people before, if you'll just step off to the side, and then you'll be after they come to
First
speak.
person is Yesenia, I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. Roman. Okay, please come to the podium, ma'am, and you have 3 minutes.
And please state your official name and address for the record for our city clerk.
Hello, my name's Yesenia Ramon. I live at 207 Glenora in Sherwood. I've been a resident of Sherwood for the last 8 years. My son attends Sherwood Elementary School, and he also attends the art school. He's been the member there for 2 years. My son Luis he will be 9 in December, and he is ADD diagnosed. He has zero interest in sports. We've tried every sports you can think of, including 3 different karates or martial arts. My son has attended the Atelier Art School for almost 2 years. His attention span, personally, I feel is great. The school works great with him. They're also a big part of the community. I am part of the PTO at Sherwood Elementary School, and this past Halloween, we've had our trunk or treat, which we've always had. And the minute I mentioned it to Oscar in passing, I said, hey, the school has a trunk or treat. The art school immediately jumped up and volunteered, and they were there for the entire time, provided their own candy, had lots of support, and were there for the community. I've also been a personal witness to his community involvement in other aspects. He's always there for all the kids. He's very down to earth. Him and his wife are always there. I've seen her work with the little ones, which I know that's hard, but she's wonderful with the little ones, and personally wanted to give my support. My address is 0.3 miles from the youth center, which my son also attended there, and he loved it there. We were honestly heartbroken when it closed. I just wanted to voice my support for it and let everybody know that he's doing something wonderful. He does do a lot of nonprofit, even though we don't qualify for any of that, but he does a lot of it. He lets kids with military background, military parents, and low income, and they come in and they work with them, and they expose them to the arts, which is something that is being lost in our community. Technology has taken over, and even though he does incorporate that, but it is something that our children need and our community needs, and I think it would be very beneficial to our community. Like I said, I live 0.3 miles from the location, so I, as a resident of that neighborhood, see this as a big benefit for our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have, looks like Wolf and Stacy Eagleton.
And just know we all appreciate the very positive applause, and clearly this is the Oscar section by the signage, but please, no applause. It's just in terms of the rules, but we do appreciate everybody coming to the council meeting. And
I'm sorry, Wolf is very visually inclined, so he's prepared a board. All right. Do you want to show your award first? Okay, why don't you stand right over here?
can you show it to the camera too?
You're an officer with style.
All right, Lord, can you tell them your name?
Can you speak into the microphone and pull it down?
Let's try to pull it down.
I'm Wolf.
And can you tell them how old you are?
I'm 7.
Okay. And just tell the board what art means to you.
Art means a lot to me.
Okay. What is a lot? Explain that. You get to what?
I like to do it because it allows me to use my hands.
Okay. As already has been pointed out, a lot of times that gets lost, especially with the youngers, little ones. This is not Wolf's first art school that he's attended. He also attended the Arkansas Fine Arts Museum. However, when we found Oscar's studio, we knew it was going to be a perfect fit because Wolf can continue on. And do you want to show them really quick your artwork? That this is his first assignment that he did. If you'll step right over there. This is his first assignment that he did at
Wow.
Oscar's studio. So it's a self-portrait of him.
awesome.
Wow, good job, Wolf. Yeah.
This gentleman can't see. Can you come show him, please? All right. And so, Wolf, what would being in a bigger art studio mean for you and your classmates?
We can get more people, so we have more space to do more art.
Okay. All right. And I just wanted to comment as a mom, I've seen his confidence grow tremendously since we've started art classes. And he's thrived. He also does some volunteering. He last year set up a donut shop to raise money for first responders. And this year he chose to raise money for what, Wolf?
The animal shelter.
So we, Oscar allowed us to set up his donut shop outside of the studio, and he sold donuts and raised funds for the Sherwood Animal Shelter, and so that's where those pictures are from on the board. His teacher, Miss White, met us down there, and yeah, we would just like you to consider allowing this space to be used for this new art studio, because I really think as an educator,
Ma'am,
it's
your
something.
time has expired, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Benjamin Eagleton?
Hello, my name is Benjamin Eagleton. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I will be brief. That is a hard act to follow. As was mentioned this past time that my son ran his donut shop, we raised money for the Sherwood Animal Shelter, and Oscar individually was the largest contributor to the funds that we raised. So I mean that should speak to his heart for service. But I will mention briefly that I understand that as elected officials, you have a duty to your constituents to represent them in faithfulness, and you also have a duty to be good stewards of the public funds. And I will point out respectfully that by bringing in Oscar's studio into this center, that you will be turning a dormant building into revenue, and that, in all fairness, seems like good stewardship of public funds. I will also say that I've seen the community building that happens in his studio, and it's just a wonderful outlet for people of this community to have that opportunity and those experiences. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amy and Zachary? Okay. And please tell us your full name and address for the record.
Hi, my name's Amy Friedman. I'm with my son Zachary Friedman, and we live at 404 Chimney Rock Drive. You want to go first? Okay, go for it.
Hi, my name is Zachary, and I'm 9 years old. I go to Mr. Oscar's, and I really love it there because I get to learn about art and try new things. I hear that our school might be getting Sherwood Youth Center, and I think that would be so cool. Right now, we don't have a lot of space, and it's hard to do everything we want to. If we had more room, we could make even more art, and maybe other kids could join too. I think it's better for the building to be used than just to sit there empty. Our school could be a place where kids and grown-ups can do fun things and learn together. Thank you for listening.
Okay, good evening, members of the council. My name is Amy Friedman, and I'm here today as a proud parent of a student attending the Atelier School of Art, as well as a supporter of this community. I like to express my strong support for allowing the Atelier School of Art to utilize the Sherwood Youth Center property. Having grown up on West Beverly, just around the corner, and attended elementary school across the street at Victory Baptist, I have a deep connection to this area. As a teenager, I was not allowed to visit the youth center due to lack of adult supervision and the presence of troublemakers. More recently, the center is now vacant, becoming an eyesore as weeds grow unchecked. Each day, I pass by it on my walks and see a missed opportunity for the community. The Atelier School of Art offers a tremendous chance to bring beauty, activity, and property value back to this area. The Atelier School of Art has provided incredible value to students like my son, offering a unique education that fosters creativity, critical thinking, and innovation. However, the school is quickly outgrowing its current facilities, and the youth center property would provide the space needed to expand its programs, reach more students, and further its impacts on arts education in our city. My son is a unique little guy who found his passion in the arts rather than in sports. He feels truly at home with the teachers who embrace his creativity and make him feel very valued. With the additional space the old youth center offers, imagine how many more children's lives this art school could touch and inspire. Revitalizing this property would breathe new life into an underutilized space, turning it into a vibrant hub of activity. It would create opportunities for community engagement through exhibitions, workshops, and events while contributing to Sherwood's cultural and educational landscape. By the way, have any of you ever been to one of his art shows? They're pretty incredible. This isn't just about the school, it's about what's best for Sherwood. By supporting this initiative, we're investing in the future of our children and our city. I hope the council will see the value in this opportunity and approve the school's plans. Thank you so much.
Concludes comment.
That concludes comments. Councilmember Harmon, floor is yours.
I have no comments to lead off with. I just open the floor to questions on the lease.
I had a question and a comment. One of my questions on, and I didn't see it in here, and I apologize if I didn't see it, but I know that we did have, or we do have in our budget that we're going to be presenting later this evening, a $33,000 air conditioner.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other, are we going to be providing any other funds for the rehab of this building?
Do you want me to speak to, so the major repairs are ours. There's none that we know of at this time other than the air conditioning, but if it's a major repair, electrical, plumbing, and they're spelled out in this lease, you know, those type of things are ours.
Right.
They're planning on going in, putting up some false walls, doing some different things to create different classroom spaces that meet their needs. But in terms of overall rehab type stuff, they kind of have their own vision and own plans for the space itself. It's
Right.
workable except for the
So right
heating and
now,
air.
for them to walk in there right now, the only thing we have to do is do the air conditioning for $33,000 unless something that's
Major,
major
like we
that's in-
find out,
that's in the
yeah.
lease.
Correct.
Okay.
Spelled out in there.
Okay, number two. I understand that they want to change the signage on the building because this is their school. But understanding also that the Duran name is a longtime name in the city of Sherwood. And that building has been a long time, and Charlie, you know this too. I mean, it's always been the Duran or Ron, you know. Whereas, is there a place in here that I misplaced it? It's not gonna be, are we giving up the name the Duran Youth Center?
I don't know why it couldn't be the
That's-
Atelier School of Arts
At-
located in the Duran Youth Center.
Or I was gonna say that, or, you know, underneath it, it could have been at the Duran Youth Center in lower letters, you know, even that. I just hate.
There's no reason to give up the name Duran Youth Center.
That's what I'm
Can I,
saying.
can I
But
say something?
Yes,
Yes.
Why? Like, the Duran Youth Center had its chance. Like, I get that, there's a sign that says Duran Youth Center
The
in the
Durans were
park.
people that created
but
the city.
I understand that, and it's there still, but this is the Atelier School of Art. So the big sign that's in front of the building will be taken down, and it will say Atelier School of Art, because that's what it is. No one's gonna know the Duran Youth Center. And I'm sorry, but that's how you feel about the Duran Youth Center is how I feel about the Atelier School of Art.
I
Yeah,
think,
I understand, but
isn't there a sign on
the Durans list among the 50 founding members of the city of Sherwood. I mean, they're not just.
I get that,
they're
and
not-
there's a beautiful plaque inside the building
Right.
that dedicates that,
And
we tend
I
to honor
think-
that.
I think we can do minimal signage, you know, and you're right. The big sign on the building is going to say the Atelier School of Art, but there can still be minimal signage there in the park area or something that identifies this as Duran Youth Center. But, and that's going to be the name of the park anyway. We're still going to have
Right.
to do something eventually with the outside area.
Yeah, that park needs
That park,
majorly
yeah.
addressed.
And we took that out of the budget, but that park's still gonna have to be a park. And that's gonna be the Duran Park, and it may be that, that's how we deal with it, that's how y'all deal with it, next year. But, I think that the Duran name's gonna have to stay there somehow.
I agree.
It's just, that name's not going anywhere. But we can work with you, and you're right, the big name, nobody's gonna have any trouble finding Atelier.
Right.
So you'll find that you'll be fine. then
But
nobody's gonna have any
as far
trouble.
as like the Atelier at the Durant's, I'm not doing that. Like,
Yeah, I
it can-
understand, how you
okay,
advertise your
okay.
business is your
That's
business.
fine.
Yeah.
kind of like, if you think about, you know, Becky Vassar Clubhouse, there's a picture and it's on the inside of it, but
inside,
there's not
right.
something big on the
Yeah.
outside
No,
of it.
there's not. You're
So,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's already a plaque inside of there, and there's already signage
What was your next,
on the ground.
what was your next question?
Those are my two
Those
questions.
are all of it, okay. Who's next?
The one thing I had a question about, other than the edits we worked on today, did not know the days of operation and the times that the center, that the art school would be open. We need to because it is sitting in a residential area.
Right.
People ask that question, and we need to be able to respond. And I don't know if you need that in the lease, or at least have that information.
I wouldn't put anything in that lease because our business will change as we go on.
Evolve.
But currently, it's during nights and weekends, or Saturday night. I think the latest is at 8 o'clock, but
Yeah.
it's
What time does it start,
weeknights.
babe?
I'm sorry?
What time is it open?
On Saturdays at 9 a.m. On the weekdays, we have one daytime class at the moment, and it starts around 2, and then the rest of them are, weeknights.
Kind of like
But
we
all that's
promote-
gonna change if we get more space and more room to grow, so.
So you're saying Monday through Friday, it's about like 2 to 8 or something?
No, there's literally one class at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, and the rest of the classes are at 5, 6, and 7 o'clock at night.
So there's nothing late night.
No, it's a
So
school
there's no reason for
kids, yeah.
residents, I mean, it's not like it's a residential area, but there's really nothing for residents to be concerned about because it's not gonna be late
We're trying to
night.
put the,
No,
I
and
get it, yeah,
And
there's
as-
nothing, I mean, it's an art school, I mean,
Right.
we have no reason to stay open till midnight or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock.
But
in the
now,
morning.
one of the reasons that we've discussed both at the Parks and Rec meeting and at the council meeting that this building works for them and that they want to use it is expansion, and including expanding for senior citizens during the daytime. So the expanded classes in the daytime eventually for senior citizens, adding the ceramics classes and things like that. So I imagine daytime classes will be added eventually. And I assume there'll be periodic night activities like your art shows
Your
and things
galas.
like that.
Right,
recitals,
yeah, I
games.
mean, but even our art show is at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and it ends by 7 PM, so.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so I mean.
It's not something we would put in the lease because he needs the flexibility.
Right.
Certainly, we would publicize his information, just like we have other small businesses or things, related to, the city as he opens up different classes, because we would want the community to participate in this.
You have any more? No, most of mine got addressed in the new version.
Okay, that you all received.
That y'all got a new version today.
It's a cleaner copy.
My question.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'll double check them.
Are we being consistent between this lease and Joey's lease as far as, I didn't have this new version until I sat down, but so 5.1, landlord shall pay electric, gas, water, utilities.
That's in the new version.
No, I'm asking, are we being consistent with this lease as we were with the Joey's lease as far as
Well,
with the city?
some things yes, some things no. I mean, there's no kitchen here that has such a, has the utility bills that a restaurant's gonna have. So,
And-
there's differences.
And we're paying for electricity and water over at the Greens. They're only paying for the gas out of the kitchen. They're set up very
And
differently.
one's a not-for-profit. That's important to me.
Okay,
There's a
but
difference in
on
not for
here,
profit.
it says that the tenant is gonna pay for fire suppression and alarms, but we pay for that at the other building. I think that should be a city responsibility. That's city property. I think the city needs.
What number is that on? I didn't catch that.
It's my understanding it's not
5.2.
needed for this.
No, but they'll have fire extinguishers in that building, and I think that is a city responsibility. And it was in Joey's lease as well.
Which
Okay.
section is that?
Bottom page 5.
I'm on my original. I didn't get the new one, so.
Okay,
Fire suppression and
page
alarm
5.
service if required.
I'll add that.
Move it to
Okay, so it would just be
5.1.
moved to the city's responsibility.
Okay.
5.1.
Yeah.
Good catch.
It's under 5.2, actually.
That's tenant exploration.
Does the building even have fire suppression in it?
No,
I thought that
but
was for like a
we'll just be,
restaurant and stuff.
all
Yeah.
that really is doing is we'll be providing your fire extinguishers.
Right. No,
I got it.
Okay. And we'll make sure that
the
your
alarm.
fire alarms are working and that type of thing as part of our maintenance.
Okay.
Is there a
Thank you.
fire alarm system in that building?
No, just Sean is not here. Blake, do you know? I would think they're fire alarms,
Is
just
there a fire
normal
alarm
stuff.
in Duran Youth Center?
No, actually, I did not know there is, and the,
It's really old, isn't it?
yeah, it's very old, so there's no, fire suppression system in there. There's no alarm. We did put cameras in there, so, I mean, if you're wanting to see the paper alarm system, we don't have other places, I'm not sure it's a
Probably
great
need
idea
a fire
either, so.
alarm system.
But, we'll do what y'all want us to do.
We can
definitely
certainly
want
look
there, so.
at doing, because we
Yeah.
recently had to add one to City Hall.
Yeah,
It
we've added a
wasn't that
camera
much.
system there this year, so
We didn't even
there's
have one at City
cameras
Hall
there,
for
so
fire alarm.
we'll keep them there as well that they have access to, and I think that's.
Especially if we're gonna start using the
what's
kiln
going on,
again.
So we all know if something happens.
Kiln.
That's why I had to put the hazard.
The,
Okay. Anything else?
just double checking.
We'll check.
If there's anything that's minor, I think that the main things are the
The intent in there.
intent of what we're trying to do.
Beverly, once you've had a chance to look that over more carefully, if you see
Yeah,
other
I'll
items.
be glad to look it over again.
Yeah.
And see if there's any typos or something.
Okay.
Oscar, just an FYI, as a retired educator, I proofread well.
Oh, no, that's fine. You have no idea how many times I
get
read that.
volunteered sometimes to do that. So.
And sometimes she just volunteers herself.
It just-
Volunteers herself
Sometimes it's
more.
just habit. Be quiet.
If there's no other questions, we can entertain a motion.
I move that we approve this lease as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Harmon and a second by Councilmember Thomas. Roll call, please.
Williams,
Yes.
Broderick,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Thomas, Sanders,
Aye.
Lilly.
All right.
The motion passes unanimously.
Welcome, Oscar. Now y'all can go celebrate. All right. It's going to be a long council meeting, and you guys are more than welcome to stay for the rest of it, but
Thank you so much.
would.
Appreciate it.
thanks. But if I were y'all, I don't know that I would. Absolutely. We'll give you guys a moment to clear. Thank y'all. Absolutely.
Hey, good job, young man.
Both young, all the young people, good jobs.
I'll talk with you later.
We need more.
I can't imagine drawing that.
I don't like that.
Pretty awesome.
Y'all should see what my drawings look like.
Don't piss us off. Wow. Ghost town.
I could do a really good stick figure.
What'd I tell you? Marina asked me what I was hard.
Yeah.
All right, we'll continue on. Next up, we have an ordinance amending the existing zoning code with respect to the location of a residential care and for other purposes. Thank you, Shelby, for being here. And James has a pretty serious emergency in his family. Otherwise, he would be here as well. But please go gently on Shelby this evening, okay?
Good evening, Shelby, Notia City Planner. So this first ordinance before you, first and foremost, it was unanimously voted by Planning Commission to recommend approval, but this is the amendment to the schedule of uses that was proposed by council, I believe it was in September, to add a line item in residential care facilities to permit it in a commercial zoning district. So with that, staff and the Planning Commission recommend that zoning district be C3 general commercial.
Thank you. This way, when we approve the zoning for the residential care facility across from Walmart, we won't be putting R3 there. We can put C3 there instead, correct?
Correct.
I move for
Can I have a question before you make that motion, for you, please?
It's an ordinance.
Well,
Okay,
so-
well, okay.
Okay.
Well,
I just had a question about on that third whereas, when it talks about a new residential care unit, this is an existing, well, it's been temporarily closed, so I just didn't want to make sure, I want to make sure we're not harming the gentleman who's coming back to his place with the word new there.
No, there shouldn't be any issue with that. And it will come in as new license. Everything will be permitted as new. They've just been ongoing for some time with the renovations.
Move we suspend the rules, place it on second reading.
Second.
We have a motion to move it forward one reading from Councilmember Harmon and a second from Councilmember Brooks. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Yes.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas. Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
An ordinance amending the existing zoning code with respect to the location of residential care and for other purposes. Second reading.
Move for suspension of the rules, placed on third reading.
Second.
We have a motion to move it forward in readings from Councilmember Brooks and a second from Councilmember Lilly. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
An ordinance amending the existing zoning code with respect to the location of residential care and for other purposes. Third reading.
Move for the adoption.
Second.
We have a motion for adoption for a Councilmember Lilly and Thomas and a second for Councilmember Harmon. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Next up, we have an ordinance amending the official zoning districts map for the property located at 8900 Highway 107 and for other purposes.
Okay, so this next ordinance before you is essentially a substitute ordinance for item E under old business, and it is an amended recommendation by the Planning Commission to rezone this property from R1 to C3.
Move we suspend the rules, place it on second reading.
Second.
We have a motion to move it forward in readings by Councilmember Harmon and a second by Councilmember Sanders. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
An ordinance amending the official zoning district maps for the property located at 8900 Highway 107 and for other purposes. Second reading.
Move we suspend the rules and place it on third reading.
Second.
We have a motion to move it forward in readings by Councilmember Lilly and a second by Councilmember Wade. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
An ordinance amending the official zoning district maps for the property located at 8900 Highway 107 and for other purposes. Third reading.
Move for the adoption.
Second.
Motion for adoption by Councilmember Harmon and a second by Councilmember Thomas. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion to adopt passes unanimously.
So does that mean we're going to drop and cut number E, or letter E?
Yes.
So E is now eliminated.
Okay, moving on to C, an ordinance amending the official zoning district maps for the property located at 7800 Highway 107 and for other purposes.
I'm gonna slow us down here a little bit.
So this next item on the agenda is a rezone request. This property is split zoned. The portion that has frontage along Highway 107 is zoned C1, and the remainder of the property is zoned R1. So with that, the request and the unanimous recommendation for approval to C3 is before you this evening. With that, the applicant is also here and would like to speak to the item as well.
Can I kind of say something about this? In talking to James today, there was a couple of, because we thought you were not going to be here, this was before his emergency. And in speaking with some of the residents who are in Councilman Brooks in my ward, we spoke to them about this. And after the Planning Commission's meeting the other night, they would accept a C2 recommendation. Right. And that would be like a compromise. And and James said that it was on your agenda for next time to actually look at that, having a distinction between a drive-through window and a takeout window.
So,
and that might actually make that.
There's a lot of discrepancies in the zoning code right now that make it difficult for applicants as well as staff to be able to interpret, but it's been done one way for so long. At this point, there just needs to be a major code revision. But I would like to allow the applicant to speak, of course, real quick to that item.
And it is my understanding that they just wanted it read once today, so there will be
Exactly,
the opportunity.
that's what James said too.
Yes.
Good evening, Thomas Pownell with Thomas Engineering, 3810 Lookout Road, North Little Rock. Yes, we are requesting it to be read only once. There's a little trepidation, I think, with some of the neighbors, and then also maybe giving us the opportunity to use a C2 zoning if that comes up quick enough. So by only reading it once, it gives us a little bit of opportunity to work towards seeing if the C2 is even possible within our time frame. So that's something we'd be happy with tonight if you want to discuss further too. I'm here.
Well, that was what I was going to discuss as well, because I talked to certain of the Planning Commission members after the last Planning Commission meeting, and we talked about the C2 possibility at that Planning Commission meeting, and then I talked with the residents that were at the meeting too, and they thought C2 was a more workable thing. And like you say, a restaurant with just a pickup window and no menu board would be the definition of the restaurant. A sit-down restaurant with a pickup window and no menu board would be the definition of the restaurant that we were talking about placing in C2. So that if there's a menu board, which tend to back up traffic more, that would still be a C3 restaurant. Okay. Now, one of the concerns I had was the time it takes to move anything through Planning Commission, and that's what you just said, and I would think you would agree with me that it's almost like doing something with the government when you try to do something with Planning Commission. But it does take, with the public hearings and this, that, and the other thing, the City Council has the authority to amend to amend the zoning code without public hearings. The code allows us to simply pull the zoning ordinance and amend it. And there's case law on it, and it's in the code, and there's case law on it. And so if the Planning Commission comes up with a recommendation, the amendment can be made by the council more quickly than it can be made by the Planning Commission, which might speed things up and get us to the C2 and then allow us to be within your time frame.
Thank you for that. That's a great compromise. A C2 with just the menu board allows us to place our use there.
Okay.
And would satisfy some of the trepidation you have. The time frame is, of course, the issue, but thank you for considering that. I'm not sure how your rules work in that, but.
Well, it's a state statute. It's a state statute. It has nothing to do with our rules. The other issue would be there's some concerns among neighbors on the north side of the club road where the lot is. With the buffering, how much of the trees and the green area that you intend to take out, if you're going all the way back, clearing it all the way, if there's any of that green area is intended to remain or anything of that nature. The council doesn't get to review, site plans anymore, so we don't know. And, it is what we don't know till it's built. So we're just wondering, so I'm not able to answer that. So what would the plans be as far as buffering between the multifamily there? Because even though it's multifamily, people say, well, multifamily is buffering. Well,
what is going on?
I'm going to make sure mine's off too.
I bet his wife did that to him just there. But anyway. But anyway, so people say multifamily is buffering, but there's families that live in there that also don't want, to listen to noise and light pollution and things like that. So what are the ideas you have for buffering between that residential?
Their site plan does show retaining some of the trees. On the east side. I can't tell you if it's 20 feet, 50 feet, or whatever it is, because I just don't know exactly. However, if that's something you would like to see, next month maybe I can bring that to you.
That would be great.
I will say, in the residents that contacted me before the meeting, and then I spoke with them after the meeting, Thomas, they complimented you on listening. And actually, I said, are you sure you're talking about Thomas Pownell? And they said, yes. But anyway, I just wanted you to know that they felt like you were hearing what they said, especially I think the thing that attracted them the most was when you talked about if they exited off of 107, you were going to design as a right turn only kind of thing, or something like that. That was what I remember them saying. But anyway, I don't need to get into the weeds of that, but they were very complimentary of how you listened. So.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
All
right, we're going to move on then. An ordinance amending the existing zoning code with respect to conditional use permits and for other purposes. This is item D.
Quickly before moving on, that public hearing for the restaurant language has already been scheduled for the December Planning Commission meeting. So staff is serious and they're already working on the amendments.
All right.
Yeah.
So you think you can get it done quickly?
Well, I won't be here to do that, but.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yes.
Yes.
So that it is in the works.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Okay, so this next item, honestly, it's just a Scrivener error. We determined it was too big to do at a staff level. So one of the items just gone in and fixed some typos, and the other one, the original language read de novo review, which is newer from beginning, introducing new information upon appeals, and staff basically went in there and added not. So it's just cleaning up some contradictory language.
So it shall not be.
Yes. And you should have got the red line version in your packet.
Mm-hmm.
So the effect of this change would basically be if you deny a zoning and they appeal to us.
For the conditional use, yes.
For the conditional use. This is strictly for the conditional use. If you deny zoning for conditional use and they appeal to us, we can consider nothing other than what was considered at your hearing.
Yes. That was the intent of the language. It was missed by staff and planning commission whenever it all was pushed through.
Is this typical?
Yes, and we've been through it. Steve, Mr. Cobb was involved.
We had some
with this.
issues with applicants that were denied, and then there would be significant changes between the time the planning commission denied it and what came to you, to the extent that it almost didn't even resemble what was before the planning commission in the first place. So we thought that it was, for purposes of an appeal, it should continue as presented to the planning commission.
And it had previously not been codified to explain how appeal processes work for conditional use permits.
So if the resident had something else, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but if there was something later that they wanted to appeal, do they have the option to come to the council if they felt like there was something significant that, and address it separately?
I think that what documentation, or the package, if you will, that is presented to the planning commission should be the same package or document that comes to the council with respect to what they want to say or address the council. I think that's within your purview to listen, and if you want to change or modify, which is kind of like what we just talked about. But we felt like you needed to see what the planning commission saw, and to better understand why they ruled the way they did.
Yeah, again, I'm not gonna be here anymore, but, you know, I don't like anything that sounds like it hamstrings the council. The council is the appellate body. The council's the one that these things come to, and the council has authority beyond the planning commission, like I just pointed out before, to amend the whole code. I mean, and without the public hearings and everything else, you know, if we want to look at additional information on an appeal of a conditional use, should we have our hands tied by the planning commission to not look at that additional information if we want to look at it? I don't know, because that's what this does. A de novo appeal simply means you can't look outside of anything that was looked at by the lower body.
So that means you don't get the background story, the backstory.
You don't get anything that they didn't get.
So the intent of this section is whenever the planning commission is basing its decision based on the submittal and the facts presented that led them to the determination or recommendation to council, that's what this is seeking to do. That they made the recommendation based on those facts presented. So presenting anything different before y'all, for a different determination is what this seeks to avoid. It can always go back to planning commission for further review, but that has happened in the past where additional information is presented that the planning commission was not privy to, which based their decision.
Does this allow further vetting,
It
essentially,
can.
so that there has a chance so that the council doesn't make a mistake and bases a decision on something that hasn't been fully looked at, is what it sounds like.
It can, or it's just sometimes an applicant could potentially add additional information that the planning commission wasn't privy to. It could have changed their decision. That's what this is seeking to do.
And I guess what the planning commission is saying is we want first bite at the apple to correct a mistake or make a new decision or whatever, rather than the council doing it. And, you know, again, that just slows things down for the applicant.
That's what I was gonna say, the time factor. And if it is something more complex, we have the right to then send it back.
And
we don't have to act
And
on
we
it.
have a person advising us at all meetings.
What do we want to do on this? Just read it one time and think on this? Because this, I'm not sure, I mean, I understand it, but
The intent,
I can argue both ways.
Yeah, the
on this
intent
one.
the whole time, it was supposed to say there's no de novo review. That was the intent the whole time. It was missed.
Well, the intent, you know, that was the planning commission's intent when they drafted.
Well, that was staff recommendation to the planning commission.
Yeah.
But I think to Charlie's point, though, if it came to the council, I feel quite certain that the staff would let us know that there was, you know, this is new information, or, you know, so the council would have that. We would be privy to both sides at that point.
So we could make a judgment call. So we could make the necessary judgment call at that time. I just don't see the reason to tie the hands of the council. I'll say it one more time, it's you guys, not me.
I tend to agree with Charlie.
You guys, nobody on the right-hand side saying anything.
Well, I'm listening to you, because I trust your judgment, so.
Sometimes.
Or what about staff's judgment?
I said sometimes.
I think the intent is just so there is equal, and it's not the intent, that's what it is, that there's equal playing field as it pertains to information, because the planning commission makes recommendations on the facts presented to them. And that's what staff brings before you. So whenever there is an appeal made and there's additional information that the planning commission was not privy to, that could have changed their decision. So that's the intent of this language.
But
It's
that
not.
that doesn't matter. Once it gets to us, it's no longer the planning commission's decision, it's ours.
It's a direct appeal. There's not necessarily any appeals that I've had opportunity to take part of. They make application, it just comes to me so I can streamline it to the city clerk. So it wouldn't necessarily be staff speaking on behalf of the individual appealing the request.
Is there a downside if that did happen and then the council was privy to extra information and maybe the planning commission would have decided differently had they known that? Is there a downside?
That's always possible. I can't speak to that. It could have not held
I
up
mean,
a
just to kick it
process.
back for them to make another.
It could potentially kick it back if you find that there's additional information. I can't speak to that. It hasn't occurred.
Are you on your stool?
No, I'm standing.
Would you sit on your stool?
I'm okay right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and make a motion to table this.
I'd second that.
We have a motion by Councilmember Harmon and a second by Councilmember Broderick to table it.
Williams.
Aye.
Broderick. Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Okay, and as was mentioned before, E has already been addressed. So moving on to Street Committee. Councilmember Lilly, if it's okay with you, Councilmember Williams wanted to say a few words about the Public Works.
I did, and one of the things I just want to share with you, we all know that we have some great staff that work for the city, correct? But Councilman Brooks and I have had, in the last month, we have had 3 different incidences, opportunities where residents have contacted us with regarding issues. And I just want to compliment, I want us to know that Brian Galloway and Josh Penland, in all 3 of those cases, have gone to that resident's home, one or both of them, and actually the accolades. I mean, I've got called back from this one lady. My husband's never so excited. He never thought I could get something from the city to do this. And then I saw her at church Sunday. It happened again. And then the other one was, it was actually a third party was the one, some business that was working in some yards and caused an issue at a home. And maybe sewer was going where it shouldn't be going or different things, but whatever the issue was. But they were jolly on the spot and worked with that third party to get that resident's home fixed so that they had clean white water coming out again. And there was a flooding issue. So these guys were there. I mean, some people think that Public Works does the trash trucks and the garbage trucks, in which they do, but they do so much more. And these individual incidences, just want to compliment Brian and his team, and Josh, I think, second in command or whatever, but 3 families in less than a month have called us to thank them, and I want everybody to know that. So good job, guys.
Councilmember Lilly, did you?
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Williams. I think, you know, most people would find that that's how they operate day in and day out. You know, whether that be Public Works, be wastewater, whatever. I mean, those folks that are on staff that take care of that stuff are really professional in what they do, and they do a great job. As it relates to the street committee, we did not meet this past month. There was no new business, and quorum was in jeopardy. So we did not meet, and we will not meet in December. So does anybody have any questions at this point? Anything else that you would like information on?
I'd like to say what a wonderful job you've done as the chairman of that committee.
Thank you, Councilman Marvin,
have.
appreciate that, thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate the kind words.
All right, next up, we have an ordinance approving the use of eminent domain for acquisition of needed property for the Powerline Trail Improvement Project and for other purposes. As mentioned before, this is the property located in those lots in between Keel and Lawn. Help me with one of those streets back in there. Lois, yeah, in that area. So, and just to clarify too, I think that there was somebody had called. The Powerline easement trail does not cross Brockington Road, so it runs. It's not that area. So, once again, the only reason for this is because of we cannot get clear title. At some point, if we do, that's great. Then, you know, all that happens is they do an appraisal. It's put into with the court, and then if at some point they can get this cleared up, then they receive the money. But it's not that we just go in and we just take things. So,
reading back through the minutes on this, Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
there were 4 questions I was reading that were in the minutes from
Okay.
last month, and I don't recall we ever got answers on those questions.
Can you remind me as
One
to
of them, I think Mr. Harmon asked how many tracts of land were we talking about there? Do we know a better figure on that?
I think there's 4 on that one.
Okay, so one was how many tracts of land, and then the other one was, I think Councilman Broderick asked if anybody was pushing back about giving them a domain. Okay,
No,
that was
ma'am.
the third one. And then I think Mr. Lilly said something like that, and then one was how much money was this involved? And I remember
It's not
our finance director said not much, but
No.
you know, not much to some people is a whole lot to somebody else. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It was-
didn't
how
bring
much
that
money were they
packet with me,
budgeted?
Beverly, I'm sorry, but I'll get you that information.
okay,
Yeah, it's not that I mean.
like under 100,000,
Oh,
under
gosh.
50,000,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
under
no.
10,000,
I think,
ballpark.
I think it
I
was
don't want to
actually.
speculate because I could be wrong.
Okay.
What I've been focusing on is trying to find the folks so that we can
Gotcha.
try to get it purchased. I'm
Are these the
sorry.
type of easements that typically would go for $1,500, $1,800, $2,000 a piece, something like that?
Yeah.
If we say typically, yes. I can't.
Right.
I'm not,
and-
I'm not hold you to it, and there's
No.
4 of them, so.
Okay, so what was
Yes.
your numbers?
Or maybe 3.
Well,
Yeah, I see, he said $3,000, $2,000, you know, $2,000 to $3,000 a piece type easements.
Okay.
It's just like easement costs, you know, so, yeah.
and I will say too, just to remind you all, because I was reminded of it as well, and the money that we spend on these things too, it's 20/80, so it's not even the full amount. We get reimbursed 80% of it, but
From the
I mean,
grant.
it may all total 30,000, I
Okay.
think, or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. It was not a real large
All right.
for all the,
information
everything
to use in
combined,
the
but it's
domain.
just, it's more the issue of we cannot, the title is
All right.
a hot mess.
Move to suspend the rules, place on third and final reading.
Before you,
Oh.
well, you done
Yes,
done it.
sir?
Well, I would like to offer a little bit of an amendment to this, or food for thought anyway. On section 3, where it talks about, you know, I understand that the premise behind the whole ordinance is for time's sake, instead of having to bring each situation to the council. But in section 3, where it talks about, you know, if it becomes necessary for the city to exercise the power of eminent domain, maybe some wording either in that section or a new section that says if the city, you know, decides to exercise eminent domain, that the council will be notified, you know, 7 to 10 days prior. Because maybe not in this situation, but what has happened when the city has taken that kind of position, again, they start calling their aldermen, their council members, sorry.
Okay.
And, you know, we don't even know that's took place yet.
Or we could just bring you another resolution next time we encounter this. I mean,
Yeah, it's not a problem in terms of, I don't know if what you guys are really talking about for these, but if there's ones with anything else, that's fine. We can certainly send you guys and be like, hey, this went in and this is why.
I think
so
just,
what we
yeah,
just-
and then he emailed all of us that, you know, this lot has gone into,
Maybe
eminent
prior
domain.
before it
Yeah.
goes in, is this,
Yeah.
is.
Well, I mean, there's nothing we can do, but yeah,
Just
but a
give
couple
you
of days
Yeah,
prior at
but
least.
to have the knowledge beforehand, because the
Yeah.
phone, you know how that
Yeah.
goes.
Okay,
Sure.
we'll do that. We'll notify you in lot
Yeah, I
and
think
block
it's a
and
good
give you that
idea.
information.
Yeah,
When they discuss it in Walmart and you don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just professional
I agree.
courtesy,
Okay.
I guess, is
Sure.
what you're asking.
Mm.
All right.
Professional courtesy.
Now,
Correct.
move we suspend rules, place on third and final reading.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Harmon to advance the reading and a second by Councilmember Lilly. Roll call, please.
Williams,
Aye.
Broderick,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Thomas, Sanders,
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
An ordinance approving the use of eminent domain for acquisition of needed property for the Powerline Trail Improvement Project and for other purposes. That was the third reading.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion for adoption from Councilmember Brooks and a second from Councilmember Harmon. Roll call, please.
Williams,
Aye.
Broderick,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Thomas, Sanders,
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion to adopt passes unanimously.
We're to the budget part, so do you want to come up?
You'll need your stool.
Yeah, with the stool. All right, next up, we're to item 8, and these begin all the different budget resolutions. So the first one, a resolution providing for the adoption of a general fund budget for the city of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditures therein provided for and for other purposes.
Move for the adoption.
We have a motion by Councilmember Harmon and a second by Councilmember Thomas. Roll call, please.
Williams,
Aye.
Broderick,
No.
Wade,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Thomas, Sanders,
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion to adopt passes 7 yes, 1 no.
Council members, there was, the number in the budget in your packet changed just based off of the meeting that we had on Thursday with the decision of how to split, the additional funds for the Public Works facility. So that was the packet for the general fund and the street fund that was at your desk. So that was the only change from the packet, but it had already gone out before we had the meeting last week.
Does everybody feel comfortable with that? Okay. Moving on, we've got a resolution providing for the adoption of a street fund department budget for the city of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Same comment?
Yes.
That this one?
Same
needs to-
comment.
Yeah,
Move
changed.
for the adoption.
Didn't this one go down like $400,000 from our workshop? 'Cause something,
It did, but that was rolled into the increase of the price related to the Public Works facility. So, you know, we decided to use 1 million from the Public Works, or the reserves from the street fund for the Public Works facility. So there was a movement in there because one of those lines that was 400,000 was related to the Public Works facility.
okay, yeah, I noticed that, so, okay. I just noticed it left.
So
Move for the adoption.
we have a motion by Councilmember Harmon,
Second.
second by Councilmember Lilly.
Williams,
Aye.
Broderick,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Thomas, Sanders,
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion to adopt passes unanimously.
A resolution providing for the adoption of a wastewater utility budget for the city of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Move for the adoption.
Second.
Motion for adoption by Councilmember Harmon and a second by Councilmember Sanders. Roll call, please.
Williams,
Yes.
Broderick,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Thomas,
Aye.
Sanders,
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
A resolution providing for the adoption of a City of Sherwood, Arkansas sales and use tax parity bonds, Series 2018 and Series 2023 budget for the City of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Move for adoption.
Can I ask a question before you take the vote, please? I wrote myself a note, that's I called today. The 14 million and the 5.9 million, is that a total of, this is a $20 million piece?
No, it's
Distinguish
just
between those.
showing, as it mentioned, they're parity bonds, and
Yep.
so it's hard to look at one versus the other. So the 14 million would be what's available to spend in project funds, but that's separate from the debt service obligation.
Which is the 5.9.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brooks and a second by Councilmember Thomas. Thank you all. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion to adopt passes unanimously.
A resolution providing for the adoption of a Justice Assistance Grant budget for the City of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Wade and a second by Councilmember Lilly to approve. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Yes.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion to adopt passes unanimously.
Item 13, a resolution providing for the adoption of a City of Sherwood of Arkansas Library Construction Bond Series 2015 budget for the City of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Move for the adoption for the
Second.
last time.
Motion by Councilmember Williams and a second by Councilmember Brooks for approval. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas. Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
Motion to adopt passes unanimously.
Item 14, a resolution providing for the adoption of a court automation budget for the City of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Thomas and a second by Councilmember Wade for approval. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Yes, I like that they had 110 carryover money too. 1,000.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
Motion to adopt passes unanimously.
Item 15, a resolution providing for the adoption of a departmental donation fund department budget for the City of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion for approval by Councilmember Brooks and a second by Councilmember Lilly.
I think it was
Not really.
Harmon.
Sanders.
Sanders? By Councilmember Sanders. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Yes.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas. Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
Motion to adopt passes unanimously.
Item 16, a resolution providing for the adoption of a drug fund department budget for the City of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Sanders and a second by Councilmember Wade. They said it at the same time. so. I'm flipping a coin over here.
There's a few more chances.
Yeah, that's all good, yeah.
You gotta have those back.
Williams.
I'm thinking, yes.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
Motion to adopt passes unanimously.
Sometimes you sound like a sportscaster. It's kind of like motion by Councilmember Broderick, and coming up the outside, we've got a second.
You need to go to the track.
Item 17, a resolution providing for the adoption of a DWI District Court budget for the City of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Move for the adoption.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas and a second by Councilmember Brooks. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Yes.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Item 18, a resolution providing for the adoption of a federal drug fund budget for the City of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Move for the adoption.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Harmon and a second by Councilmember Wade. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Yes.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
Motion to adopt passes unanimously.
Item 19, a resolution providing for the adoption of a franchise fund department budget for the City of Sherwood, Arkansas for the 12-month period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Move for the adoption.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas and a second by Councilmember Sanders for approval. Roll call, please.
Williams.
Yes.
Broderick.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Harmon.
M.
Thomas.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion to adopt passes unanimously.
Item 20, a resolution approving the purchase of certain real property in conjunction with the Jacksonville-Cato Road project.
Didn't we just purchase a piece of property?
There's lots of pieces of
We're
property.
having to purchase, I mean,
Yeah.
on that road right there?
Yeah, we're wrapping up the last of them.
Because I thought we had like 4 or 5 in the past, over the course of several years. Some of the church's property, so, okay.
Am I the only one that hears this ringing that's going on?
Yes,
Can y'all hear that?
it's a personal thing.
I'm hearing a little bit, I'm hearing some of it, Mike, I promise.
me
Ringing for
crazy.
30 years. I don't know.
I've
Sharing
been
it with
hearing
you, man.
some of it. Okay, let's get back to the case at hand here.
Yes.
Church.
Negotiated purchase on this
This is
one.
a negotiated purchase?
Yeah.
Actually, it was based upon the appraisal.
Right, we
I
got an
think, yeah.
appraisal, but we're not seeking to condemn this. It's
Okay.
And what they, yes, so basically, it is what it appraised for, so.
And the church is in agreement to this dollar
Yes,
amount?
yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
They've already
Sorry.
signed it. They've already signed a dotted line.
This is the church itself, the building. Or just-
It's not the whole church. It's
Okay.
for the property needed for the expansion and improvement of Jacksonville-Cato. It's not the whole, like, church
Yeah,
property.
Just the right of way and the temporary construction easement.
So how much property is this for 47,000?
It doesn't give any acreage line.
Trying to find my, I have
If
the
you,
same papers here today.
if you look at Exhibit A in your packet, behind it, it gives you kind of the,
Square footage and the acreage on
Yeah,
it.
temporary
what's
easement is
that price per square
14,821 square feet. The area of the acquisition is 25,633 square feet.
yes. And it's also based upon, when they do these appraisals, is it, is it floodplain? Is it usable, buildable land? Is it, there's a lot that goes into it, but.
But this particular property is not in the floodplain.
Correct. And if you look
It's right
at,
next to.
yeah,
That's not the same.
if you go behind the letter of Exhibit
Yep.
A, it gets into the
Right.
evaluation of the property.
Is this gonna just, from driving that road all the time, is that gonna take that curve out right there in front of that property, their property?
Not that property, on down where, what is it, Creekdale is? There's gonna be a roundabout there.
Okay.
But this part is gonna help straighten that curve out a little bit in front of the church. That's what this is.
Yeah, that's because it's got that big
And
one.
elevate it 5
And
feet.
elevate it, okay.
Yes.
yeah.
Out of the
So the
floor.
It
part,
softens and elevates.
so the part you're taking out is right here, is that right, Mike? That curve, I'm asking.
Which part is it?
The crazy curve.
The crazy curve, okay,
We'll go behind those houses.
okay.
No, this isn't the crazy curve.
It's not the
Crazy
real
curve's up
crazy
by-
one.
Crazy curve's up by Creek, the Creek Ridge.
Right.
That's
Creek
what we're
Dale.
talking about,
Yeah.
going by the church right back there, right?
Well, no, you gotta pass the church and then go up the hill to get to the crazy curve, right?
Yeah.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
The
I
church.
never called it the crazy curve. I just called,
Curve of death.
there's at least
How about
two
that?
crazy
Here's the
curves.
crazy
Here's the
curve here.
crazy, that's the big
You're
crazy
talking
curve.
about right there.
Yeah, you're talking about straightening out this right here.
That first, it's the very first curve after you turn.
We're not talking about straightening that out, right? You're talking.
No, we're not going to straighten that out.
Can we give Lon permission to come back here?
What does it matter? We
Yes.
still gotta buy the land.
I know, but I wanna see what we're paying $47,000 for.
Yeah, it's not us that determines it, it's
where those
the
houses are.
appraiser from the,
those
that was
houses.
recommended to us by
This
the
right through
attorneys.
here. Just the right of way and the temporary construction.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the craziness down here at Creekdale. We're talking right there.
Right there,
Well, if you lived out that way, Mike, you'd know more.
in the post office.
Well,
Well,
this
there's
has
a lot of
changed a
properties
few
now, I didn't
times,
realize that. This-
I think you've got a sign there and some different things.
It's not wide, it's just the length.
Just right
It's the
along
length.
the frontage there,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
And then we're gonna have
This is where that should be up there.
a combination of all these two.
I knew we already bought those.
I don't
too.
think they were
it's gonna come
expecting
this
to,
way, right?
Anticipate.
Right away. This stays the same, but there's gonna be a huge traffic circle right there. The full-size traffic.
Yeah, okay.
Gotcha.
So
I
tell us
knew
what we
the,
missed.
it was the length, it's not the width. It's the length.
Okay.
Okay.
So we are purchasing dirt and grass off of the road that will bring it on the south side of the road, right?
Yes, ma'am.
if you look at the square footage of it, the area of the whole is 139,808 square feet. You know, and then they've got the area of acquisition,
25,000.
25,600, you know, so
But there's
anyway.
also a 14,000.
Temporary
square foot
easement
temporary
as well.
easement that we're getting in as well, yeah.
Yes.
Move for the adoption of the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lilly, a second by Councilmember Harmon for approval. Roll call, please.
Williams,
Yes.
Broderick,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Thomas, Sanders,
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion to adopt passes unanimously.
We have item 21, a resolution regarding expansion of the zone covered by Microtransit services provided to the city of Sherwood by Rock Region Metro, sponsored by Councilmember Harmon.
I've heard some conversation that I limited it because my concern at the time was the revenue department, but I've heard conversation since then that there's a lot of people also that use the pharmacy at Kroger, which I should have thought of because my wife's used it for 25 years. And also that some people in Sherwood who like to thrift use the Goodwill. Goodwill. I don't think you can thrift at Goodyear.
I don't think you can, surprisingly.
Goodwill. And so I would like to offer a amendment to my own resolution that instead of saying Sherwood Revenue Department located at, its routes a stop at the Indian Hills Shopping Center,
I will
North Little Rock,
support that.
Arkansas.
I'll
And
support
change it to that so that it's just generic and they can stop anywhere up there that they need to stop.
I-
So that's a amendment.
Because you can't
motion
get
for
the, if
amendment.
you're using that bus service, the revenue office is there and, you know, just
Right. Yeah.
10 feet away.
You all do realize that in the history of Sherwood, we have never had transportation to that area. Even when we had the full bus system, it never went remotely to that area.
I have
For
a
the-
motion-
for
I
the-
have a motion on the table and waiting for a second right now, and so we need to finish that part
I
first.
thought I
for the
seconded
amendment.
it.
We did have
I
that.
seconded
Okay,
it.
let's do that and then talk about the whole amended resolution. Can we? Okay.
You have a motion to approve, correct?
No, a motion to amend. A motion to amend.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Williams,
Yes.
Broderick,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Thomas, Sanders,
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
So how's that last sentence gonna be read, Charlie?
It'll read, its routes to stop at the North Hills Shopping Center, North Little Rock, Arkansas, 72116.
Or Indian Hills.
Indian Hills, I'm sorry, Indian Hills Shopping Center, sorry. Indian Hills Shopping Center.
So in speaking to Rock Region Metro, this is a two-way agreement, and so I don't even know what, in terms of that they would be amenable to. Second of all, back to the point I was trying to make, is that if you took the amount of money that the taxpayer spent per ride, so far on the first month, it's $40 per person, per ride. And so I do think we need to be careful when we think about the fact that now we are we have a thrift place. We've got the Gray over that's in Sherwood. We have pharmacies in Sherwood where people can transfer their things if need be. But certainly they didn't have that before. And we do have a grocery store in Sherwood. In terms of the revenue office, you can do your taxes online. You can always walk across the street. You can, and I actually have reached out to them because I don't understand why they call it the Sherwood Revenue Office, and they're in North Little Rock, and I understand that that was set up a very long time ago, but we do now have space available in Sherwood that would be more centrally located within Sherwood, but that's a separate conversation. But in all the history, somehow people were able to pay their taxes, do everything that they needed to do without us driving them in to spend tax revenue outside of the city of Sherwood versus inside the city of Sherwood.
I suspect that Rock Region Metro is going to be willing to do it because they were doing it before until you asked them to stop doing it. So I don't see any reason for them.
It's because that was a mistake.
Don't see any reason for them to not be willing to start back doing it again. But as for, tax dollars in Sherwood and that sort of thing, I mean, we're talking about a minuscule amount, number one, compared to the total tax dollars. And number two, we're spending taxpayers' money to give them a service. And if we can expand the service, give them a better service for their taxpayer dollar, and provide, and the type of people who are going to use this are most likely going to be the elderly. Elderly aren't going to want to change their pharmacy. Like I said, my wife's been using that pharmacy for 25 years, and other people have been using it longer. And they're not going to change their pharmacy just because this bus doesn't go. They're gonna start bumming rides and things like that.
We have a service for our we have a service right now for anybody 50 or older, and they can go anywhere in Little Rock and so forth.
Most of them don't know it, and unfortunately, it's not that well known. We know that, or else we'd have to have more buses than we have. But anyway, I'm just saying that if we can expand the service and give more service, better service for the money that we're spending, we ought to do it. I don't see any reason to restrict people to the city of Sherwood on these buses. At the time that I was voting for it, I certainly wasn't thinking of it being some sort of tax revenue advancing vehicle. I thought of it as a service for the people of Sherwood. And in fact, at the time we talked about it, we all talked about the fact that we would like it to actually make it all the way out to north to the McCain Mall or somewhere, so that it met up with another
Correct.
the main bus. But now you're wanting to keep it in Sherwood, so that makes absolutely no sense. We all wanted it to go further into North Little Rock. That was a discussion. We were disappointed when it didn't.
Right, but
So-
that was to connect to the greater system, and I still think that would have been wonderful if that could have been used, but they have been adamant that is not the case. If you go back and watch the video of when the city council approved the contract, and I believe it's around the 36-minute mark, Councilmember Wade actually asked the question in terms of that. And they said at that time, no, it was to stay within the limits, city limits of Sherwood, which is, it wasn't me changing it, that was the agreement. That is what was voted on, that's what was stated. It was a mistake in terms of when they did the map thing, and they immediately corrected it. It was never supposed to be that, which is what Rock Region stated at the time in which they were here.
Let me speak to the fact of when I was on the board for 4 years, or the majority of it, I always pushed, and the discussion was always about a connection point somewhere to the bigger system, because we have a great service in the Microtransit as far as getting people around Sherwood, but we're doing a disservice to most of those that rode the bus that cannot get to Little Rock or do those type of things. Right. However, the discussion was, of course I was off the board at the time this passed, but the discussion was always, let's get it started and then see what we can do from there. But I've always been a proponent of expanding that.
Is there no longer a bus stop there at the corner?
Unless it's changed, they could get on the main system. I don't know the current routes, but there was one there where they could get on the main system.
Indian Hills, at the corner of Indian Hills, the Indian Hills Shopping Center.
Yeah.
They don't have the set bus stops like they used to. The main one in which to connect people to the wider system was the one at McCain, but it was not there.
But they have Microtransit North Little Rock. I don't know if there still may be a connection point of some type there.
Well, anyway, that's the reason I proposed it. I think it's a good idea. So.
But I had some people ask about the revenue office, if it could go there. And not everybody does things online. Just let's make sure we agree that everybody doesn't have cars. So because I came to the meeting when they did Brooks and I both came to the meeting when Becca Green did the little presentation about how the introduction, whatever. And the go was 75 riders in 30 days, and we had 222. I've got the article right here in the first 34 days. So the residents are responding.
Right.
I like your idea, Charlie, with regard to the revenue office, because there's not a revenue office in Sherwood. It's not like we're going to go. So
I move for the adoption.
Okay, hang on. Procedurally, there's an amendment, so the resolution needs to be read again as amended.
Okay.
A resolution regarding the expansion of zone covered by microtransit services provided by the City of Sherwood by Rock Region Metro as amended.
I move for the adoption.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Broderick and a second by Councilmember Harmon.
What if they don't agree to do this? Because I don't think
It's a request.
It's just a request.
Read the resolution.
Well, no, you said it was the desire of the council.
Right, the desire of the council.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Just for us or Paul said.
Because the contract says that the zones are not set. The contract specifically says there are no zones set. The zones will be worked out between the council and Rock Region Metro. And so this is so we're desiring that this be an amendment to the zone.
I mean, we're talking about 150 yards. This is a very small, let's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll call.
Williams,
Yes.
Broderick,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Thomas, Sanders,
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
The motion to adopt passes unanimously.
Any old business? New business?
Yes.
New business.
Do we have new business? Hang on. Pass this down. Pass this down. Take one, pass it. Different.
Are we passing something around?
What is this? Is that the same thing?
I apologize. The first several years I was on the council, I always researched anything that came up, both from a regular standpoint and from a legal standpoint, and I've gotten sloppy in the last years. I've gotten old in the last several years. I've gotten sloppy, and I've not researched things as closely as I should, and things have gotten by. And one of the things that got by that was actually caught by a lay member of the community and brought to my attention has to do with the way we reappoint members to the Advertising and Promotion Commission. I've given you all copies of the Advertising and Promotion Commission's statute 2675-605 from the state statute book. And you'll note, first off, I've highlighted D at the bottom that says, whether resulting from expiration of a regular term or otherwise, a vacancy on the commission in any of the 4 tourism industry positions provided for in subdivision A1 of this section, or in the at-large position, which was Nita Pilkington's position, provided for in subdivision A3 of this section, shall be filled by an appointment made by the remaining members of the commission, not by the mayor, not by this council, with the approval of the governing body of the city.
Which is us.
Right, we approve the one, but they choose the person. The Advertising and Promotion Commission chooses the person, and they name the person. And so every 4 years, a vacancy comes up in that position, and then the Advertising and Promotion Commission appoints the person, and the governing body, which is us, would approve that person. In addition, it says that, let me go up here, the 4 members, 2 members of the commission shall be members of the governing body, the highlighted section up higher. 2 members of the commission shall be members of the governing body of the municipality and selected by the governing body and shall serve at the will of the governing body. Okay? Now, you can contrast that with, there's only one place in here that the executive, the mayor is mentioned, and that's with the initial selection of the public at large. Other than that, it's the governing body and it's the Advertising and Promotion Commission that makes and selects these members. Now, I know people are going to say, you know, they're going to question my statutory interpretation skills and things of that nature. It's been a while, but the rules of statutory interpretation in Arkansas haven't changed. But just in case, I did the research. And in 2022, in a case called Johnson v. Wright, the Supreme Court ruled on a case involving the Eureka Springs Advertising and Promotion Commission. And I want to read a section from it. In the January 11th, 2021 regular city council meeting, nominations were made for appointments to the Advertising and Promotion Commission, positions 5 and 6. All 6 members of the council were present. Appellees Green and Meyer, who were council members, Bill Ott, Autumn Slayton, Terry McClung, and Laura Jo Smole. As to position 5, Green and Meyer initially received 2 votes each from the council. After a second round of voting resulted in Green and Meyer receiving 3 votes each. Mayor Butch Berry cast the deciding vote for Green, and Green was appointed to the Advertising and Promotion Commission. As to position 6, there were initially 3 votes for Meyer and 1 each for McClung, Ott, and Slane. A second vote yielded the same results, and Mayor Berry cast the 4th vote for Meyer, which resulted in Meyer's appointment to position 6. The nominations and the votes came from the council for those 2 positions. So it would be, we would nominate a member, and then we would vote. And you can have multiple nominations, and you vote. There's 3 people nominated, then you narrow it down, voting over and over again. In this case, the appointment of these people were challenged not because of the way they were appointed, but because there's another section of the statute that says you can only hold 1 municipal office, and they just didn't want them in there, so they tried to say that that superseded, but the Supreme Court withheld the lower court, which said that that the Advertising and Promotion Commission statute superseded the other statute and upheld the appointment of those members of the council to the Advertising and Promotion Commission and the way they were appointed. So these council members are supposed to be appointed by nominations by the council and then by votes of the council. Now, we've done it wrong, but we can't do it wrong. We can't do it wrong anymore because this is statute. And And I just want to make sure, like I said, this was pointed out to me by someone else, and I would also say that our ordinance, I checked our ordinances mirror the statute. Our ordinances say the same thing. They say that the city council will nominate and the city council will appoint the two members of the two council members of the Advertising and Promotion Commission.
You know that ordinance is off the top of your head.
I'm looking at it, it's 1021, and then it's been amended in ordinance 1338, signed by the great B.J. Harmon. It says...
And we don't have any openings at this time, so
No, it
in
says that-
January could certainly be addressed.
Right, it says Act 913 of 1997 are hereby adopted. Typically, we would deal with, I think we've got some people coming up in December, and usually I think you appoint people
It's the end of December.
in the end of December, something like that. But, and again, Mayor, it's another thing I want to point out. There are just some things that we do wrong. The mayor just interjected how we do it. We will handle it here, we will handle it there, and everything else. I want to point out this is the council's meeting. A lot of times people get confused, and I think the public gets confused. And you could read the statutes on this. This is the city council's meeting. We set the rules for the meeting. We set the time for the meeting. We set everything for the meeting. The mayor is the ex officio president of the meeting and runs the meeting for us and everything else. But this is the council's meeting. If the council wants to replace those people tonight, nominate people tonight, the council can do that. The council can do it next month. The council can do it whenever the council wants to do it. The council cannot be directed when to do the things that the council is supposed to do, okay? And it's just, I'm leaving, and at the time I'm leaving, I feel like I'm leaving a situation that is not healthy with the council right now, and I felt like I needed to say these things tonight, and I felt especially important to put this out here, and y'all can handle the situation with the A&P Commission however you want to. I think it should be done no later than next month, but I want to be the first to renominate Marina Brooks for her position on the A&P Commission for the next year to continue to serve, because I think she's done a wonderful job. And I will also say that nowhere in the statute does it say how officers are elected. I assume A&P elects their own officers, but there's nothing in the statute that says how officers, or in our ordinances that say how officers are elected. So
They're supposed to be according to state statute. When I checked on it and talked to other mayors around Arkansas, I have been told that the intent, in fact, I could not find another city where the chairman of A&P is a council member. It is set up so that the majority of it is business owners. That's how it is done in other cities, because they are supposed to be the ones that are yielding the power. There have been some things that have occurred that I really am not comfortable airing with the greater council in terms of some fiduciary concerns that I have and have had. Certainly, I don't really want to do that in terms of this time, but if need be, then I mean, certainly we can talk about those things at this time. That if you all really want to know, that's fine to know. But we've had.
Are you calling me out? Are you calling me out?
I don't want to do that, which is
no,
what I'm
I
saying.
think you just did, though.
Well, I mean, there are certainly.
I think those would be things that the two of you should discuss in private first.
Well, but they would affect the decision that the council makes, and that's why I'm surprised that you are, I would prefer for it not to be. I would prefer that would be something that we could handle, or we can get into all that, at this time.
But I guess what I'm saying, what I want to make clear is that none of this with regard to personnel on the A&P Commission is any longer, you have no more input, you have no input in it any longer. It's the council and it's the A&P Commission. The mayor doesn't have any input in it any longer.
And I find it Okay. I find it very interesting that you didn't object to that, the way that it had always been done.
I told you this was brought up to me by a layperson. I didn't catch it personally. Someone else caught it and brought it up to me, and I'm ashamed that I didn't catch it. It was caught by someone else and brought to my attention.
And I do know, too, that the commission also has the ability to set term limits, of which many cities do indeed do, because of, I've had certain, I don't really want to, I don't feel like this is really the time and place.
No, but you made an acquisition or accusation.
Right.
So I'd like for you to
Sure,
continue.
okay. For example, there has been an insistence to have a great sum of money, which is what AMP has. On average, we have a count of over $1.5 million. That has been sitting at, was allowed to sit at Centennial Bank. This was brought to your attention months ago. You did not want that to be moved, even though it was costing us money. It cost the taxpayers over the past 5 years hundreds of thousands of dollars in under-earned interest that they could have been receiving. Having the money at, instead of us getting 0.8% and fees on top of everything that we did, we could have had it at Eagle, been making just in the checking account over 4% interest. When this was brought to your attention, you even went to Steve Cobb and tried to get that changed. You dragged your feet when it came.
Okay, wait, hang on. I was just pointing this out 5 months ago, and that is
5
correct.
months of interest where we could have
5
been making
months.
over 4% or 0.8 and the fees that went along with it.
I asked him who was responsible for fiduciary matters regarding AMP.
Because you didn't want it moved.
I didn't try to
And
get it changed.
I
I
was-
asked him that.
I was on the committee at that time, and the committee took everything under advisement, and all the decisions were unanimous. They weren't just her decision when it was brought up to the committee.
That was only for the CD. It had nothing, it was never discussed.
Okay, number
the-
two.
The checking account in terms of that.
Okay.
We spent AMP, for example, spent, 20 grand on a history book. I spoke to you about that. It wasn't written by a historian. There are some things in it that have been absolutely offensive to people in the community. When I brought that to your attention, it was Virginia's fault. It was, even though Virginia hadn't been in office for all these years, and you placed it on the agenda, you pushed it through. We've had commissioners that have spoken to me about how they feel that the city staff is treated at AMP meetings. They feel that staff is being treated in a derogatory and demeaning manner. I've had that spoken to me by other commissioners. There are issues that are going on. This is never meant to be a lifetime appointment. I know that when I was on city council, this is something that should be circulated amongst the council members so that everybody has an opportunity in which to serve, and not someone's personal where they can, have access to this kind of money and this kind of decision
I
making.
don't have access to that kind of money. Are you kidding me?
You do push, well, you are able to set the agenda. You do push certain things through and
I am the
have so over the
chairperson.
years.
I'm called on last to vote on purpose. I did not ask anyone to make the $20,000 for the books. Mr. Harmon was on that committee commission that voted. Did I ask anyone to vote?
You pushed for it,
Did I push for
Councilmember
that?
Brooks, each and every month in terms of that history book. And then it turns out you now say you never even opened it and never even read it.
I have not read it.
Right, and I'm not saying that you didn't, but how is that it being a good steward of taxpayer monies when you had, when you would even put on the agenda 20 grand being spent on a book that you haven't even looked at, wasn't written by a historian, don't even know is accurate. I just think that in every step of the way, whenever we have come to you about trying new things, Sherwood Fest, it cost Sherwood, it was almost $20 a person the last time we had Sherwood Fest just to walk in the door. And it's like, and if you look at it, it was year after year after year after year of doing things without ever putting pen to paper, without ever doing an evaluation, going, okay, is this the right thing to do, or is it not? Or is it, we're just going to continue doing the same thing because that's how we've always done it. Trail of Lights was another example of that. The amount of money that the city of Sherwood was pouring into Trail of Lights, while A&P takes all the donations, and then the city was subsidizing it to a tremendous amount. Not that it's not
Okay,
something
I would
that
like
we should look
everybody
at.
to hear that about Trail of Lights out there in TV land. I would love y'all to hear that out there about Trail of Lights. Please comment on that.
It is, as I have said before publicly, it's not that the Trail of Lights is not a good event to have. It is. But in terms of how much do you pour into it? Millions and millions of dollars? How much? I don't know. But that's where you have to look at it, and at some point you do a cost-benefit analysis and go, okay, is this a wise thing to do, or do we need to maybe pull back and not spend 50 grand on another ginormous, display? Maybe we tried to do things a little bit differently, which we have been trying to do, but it is like, I just think that sometimes it's time for change, and having people sit in positions
That's what
for
I heard.
20,
That's what I've
24
heard.
years is also not fair, and that's also not right. You are the same as everybody. Everybody up here is an elected official. Everybody up here should have a chance to be able to serve on A&P. This isn't just somebody's personal position for life.
What I hear your primary complaints are is that you've had better ideas, and you have had some good ideas on a lot of these things that would save money, or that would do this different, or do that different. And because Councilmember Brooks didn't have these great ideas, she's somehow negligent or
Negligent was
criminal.
not moving the account. Negligent was keeping it in your friend's, bank, where it was costing us
And I
money
think-
over time, a tremendous amount of money.
5 months. 5 months.
Oh my gosh, what about years? You were in charge of A&P for years. Did you ever reevaluate?
No one ever said anything to me about it. I'm not in
But
charge.
that's your responsibility as chairman, though, to
No.
go, are we doing what's best?
Let me ask Colleen, as a finance director, would you say that it's the person that's in charge of the commission's money that's my responsibility to know what bank or what the interest rate is or anything? I never have that clue.
Council members, I don't really honestly want to get into this, but my knowledge when I came, which I've only been here less than 2 years, is that it had been brought up in the past, because for my office, we go daily to 2 different banks, one of which is substantially farther away, and that it had never been able to be updated in the past. So
No one had ever brought it up to me in the past, ever. They had not.
I know how much you resisted it, even when Colleen and I tried to bring it up to you. You were not open to it at all. You pushed back every step of the way, and that's what I'm getting at. That isn't healthy. What's healthy is to look at the city and go, what is actually best? Where could we make the most amount of money in interest? And that's why I don't feel like at this time this is really the appropriate thing to do, to try to push this through as quickly as possible.
All right. Well, like I said,
All right.
my objective was to make everybody aware that the way we've been doing it has been wrong. And I think we need to do it the right way in the future. If we do it December, or if you wait till next year and do it next year, however you do it, that the council appoints these people. And in my personal opinion, I think that Councilmember Brooks has done a wonderful job. As I've pointed out before, the work that's been done working with parks and everything else has just been tremendous. And some other council member may do just as well. But, as I'm leaving, I would like things to be in the best possible hands, and I think A&P in her hands is the best possible hands. Now, she may not be chairman. Like I said, there is nothing in the statute that says how the officers are elected. So apparently it's up to the A&P commissions to determine it on their own, elect them among their own people or whatever, to make their own rules. I don't know. But I could find nothing in the statute that said how officers are elected or determined, or term limits or anything like that. So that may be something that the A&P commission needs to take up on their own. But that was the reason for that. I did not intend to start a fight between these two quite capable public servants. So I would like to see if we can move on from there.
I have a new business item. I think all the council members received an email from a resident. I think he got an offer letter from the city from Lon on May 29th, 2024 for his property acquisition on Jacksonville Cato for $10,507.62. And I guess now the city has changed, and I guess then they came back with another offer for maybe $2,000, and then there was another offer that was like 17 cents per square foot, and so he has concerns, and I have concerns.
And that's kind of one of the reasons why I was bringing up the thing on the church so much, is because I'm wondering what, we're paying $47,000 for this property, and then we're not giving enough for one property, and making sure everything's fair and equitable to everybody. And that was my main questions about the church.
The church is being evaluated as a commercial property. It's a commercial property. The property that we're talking about in question is in the floodplain. It floods all the time. It was evaluated for a land-only appraisal, not a house appraisal.
But we offered, so it was evaluated and then we offered. I just don't see how the city can make an offer and then rescind it to a resident.
Mr. Voiles made that offer for $10,000, I believe. And
Okay,
that was back in
I
April, and it expired.
Okay, well.
And so then we
So we got
right,
an
it
appraisal
expired.
done.
He didn't want that. So then we said, okay, well then the only other thing that we can do is to get a professional appraisal done, which is what we do. And so we met with, go ahead, Mr. Cobb.
Yeah, we've had the appraisals, and then the attorneys that are helping us with the acquisition have that.
So they came back, and that was what they came up with, and it's based upon the fact that it is indeed, and Mr. Voiles had not done a full appraisal on it, but it costs the city money when we have to go and get these appraisals and do these evaluations, and we've had to do it twice.
The bottom line is, though, but the city put an offer out, so
he
whoever
didn't
didn't
want
do
it.
their due diligence, now we've put something out in writing to a resident, and now we're wanting to give him 20% of that original value. We cannot do that. Secondly, we all got this email. We paid for an appraisal, and the house was almost finished. And he said, hey, why aren't you including my home? And the answer was, well, because you don't have your CO. So then he gets his CO, and he moves in, and the city pays for another appraisal. And he said, hey, it doesn't include my home. And they said, well, you have your CO, but you don't have, it's not on the property records yet. I just don't see where the city can make an offer and then not honor it.
But both the appraisals done were for land only.
The road is actually moving further away. It's actually improving his situation. It's moving further away from the house, decreasing noise. It improves the value of the home. It doesn't decrease the value of the home with what's going on. And we're not buying a home, we're buying a little strip of land. So that home could burn down tomorrow, but that strip of land is that strip of land. So it's not based upon the home that's on the property. It's just based upon that
Then why
little
was
piece
the
of
church's
land.
land based on commercial then, if it's just land?
Because it is considered to be, it's not a home, it's considered to be,
But it's
by
just-
law,
but
a
it's just
commercial,
land.
a commercial piece of property.
But
Yes,
it's
sir,
just land.
which has a parking lot, and it's not in the floodplain. We're not the ones who are doing the appraisal. We have someone who the attorney selected
Okay.
that are the most competent.
The church is on a commercial zoning area.
And this is residential.
But is his not a residential area?
His is residential. It's completely different.
Okay, but it's either residential or it's not. He's got a home on it.
Which makes it residential. This is
But
commercial.
his home wasn't included
But
on the...
it doesn't, it's the zoning. It's an R1 zoning.
Right.
Okay.
This is
But
not,
the-
this is a commercial zoning.
The price should still be affected,
Same.
because if you take a strip of land off of improved residential property versus a strip of land off of unimproved residential property,
Right.
there should still be a price difference, okay?
That's
It's
not
still,
what they're
you're
telling
still
us.
just taking a strip of land, but I'm taking a strip of land off of improved residential property. that is more expensive than a strip of land off of unimproved residential property.
And Lon-
So,
Can
when you're
I
not
just
counting
break-
the house, it's not improved residential property.
And Lon, I have a question, I have a concern with, because a church by ordinance and by zone can be in a commercial area or in a residential area. It doesn't matter where the church is, so the church could have been assessed as a residential price. It could have been assessed as a residential price.
That area is
I'm-
zoned commercial. It's not zone R1. Go ahead, Mr. Cobb.
I just wanted to say that I think for what you said is valid and has merit.
too.
But I don't think we need to be talking about valuation and all that at the council level, because technically we could end up in a disagreement about value in front of a
Okay.
judge, and so.
Can I make the ask to the council that we honor the original offer, the 10,507.62, and we don't further debate the value, the valuation?
But he passed on that.
He
He passed
did.
on that, allowed
He
it to
refused it.
expire. I mean, if, you know, and that's on the property owner, you know? I don't know, you know, what caused him to pass, what caused him to let that offer expire. I have no idea.
Well, he wanted-
Well, I can speculate, but aside from that, I don't know. Now, you know, what I would be interested in knowing is the
How we got to
difference
one.
between the property valuation from unimproved to improved. I mean, you know, we as a city, we knew all along that there's a house being built there. He's asking for
Amen.
permits.
Amen.
You know, so we've known what's going on. I would be interested in knowing what that difference is. The fact that the landowner passed or did not accept the original offer in time, you know, if that cost him a little bit of money, I hate that, but it is improved property, and we knew it was going to be improved property before we ever built the road.
Yeah, and
So
saying
that's
first
my-
that you have to have the CO and then that it has to be
Yeah.
on the records and
That
everything
seemed
else, it's
like-
just playing tricks.
That did not seem like it was
Agreed.
kosher at all. That's not acceptable explanation.
Yeah. And as far as us talking about the valuations,
But I
Pardon me?
as far as us
Sure.
talking about the valuations and everything else, you know, this is the only place we can do it. And I think, you know,
Exactly.
we're receiving emails from him and everything else, so we have to talk about the valuations because we've got a person complaining to us about the
But
valuations.
you realize, so you're now, and I've asked Lon to check with the appraiser in terms of that. Now, I don't know why he hadn't filed with what he was supposed to have filed in terms of with the county, but certainly, I mean, we can check with that, but we also have to be good stewards of the taxpayer money. And if you get an official appraisal that says this is how much this land's worth, you can't then turn around, I wouldn't think, and spend, okay, well, we'll go ahead and give you 5 times what that's worth, when that's not what we've been consistently
Mayor, But
doing.
you're hearing exactly the opposite of what occurred. And that's the thing, is that if you
We
go from-
didn't know until we got the official appraisal. Councilmember Williams, that's what happened, is basically we didn't know what to do. He had said no, he stopped negotiations. We then sought the advice of an attorney. The attorney said, go and get an official appraisal. We let him know, okay, we'll see what the official, it's like rolling the dice. We'll see what the official appraisal comes back in. It didn't go the way he thought it was going to go. Now, we can certainly check with that appraiser again and say, okay, forget about the CO, just, you know, you've got a house, does it change? But so far, they have been indicating it would not change what they did, but we can get that in writing and do that again.
It
Let
sounds
me
like
ask you
this
a
one's-
general question, Steve, if you can answer this. The price per square foot on improved property that we've already acquired in that area, does that relate in any form to this figure that we're looking at now?
I would have to defer to an appraiser on that, based upon the location of the property and how much is being taken, and whether it's a temporary easement or a permanent easement, or it's a right-of-way.
Was the average on phase 2, wasn't the average on phase 2 about $1.55 a square foot or something in that
Well,
ballpark?
it also wasn't floodplain area. That was higher land.
This is the person I'm thinking about. He's got an attorney, and they're in negotiations with the attorney that's helping us. It's being discussed. He's not being ignored.
Well, I guess why are we gonna pay for legal, and not just honor what we put in writing? If I did my math right, Miss
Go ahead.
educator. I think it was $1.84 per square foot that we just approved to pay for the church. If the total area of acquisition was 25,633 square feet, we offered him in the original that 10,000 whatever, if his math is right, was 155 a square foot. I lost it.
Yeah.
And now we're offering 17 cents a square foot.
That's
And
ridiculous.
so
Well,
he
but
just-
you do understand too, that a lot of that land is a little section on the opposite side of the street that has no value. You cannot build on it, you cannot do anything with it. All we're trying to do is be good stewards of the taxpayers' money. If the appraiser looks at it, and most of that land is not buildable land.
But
My
that's
point-
his property, though. If it was my property, I would be doing the exact same thing.
And-
If any of you up here, that was your property, and somebody wanted to offer you 17 cents a square foot, you would throw a fit.
As
I
I've
don't know
told-
what that number is. I'm like Charlie and Kevin. I want to know what the
difference
number
is,
is for the improved.
Yeah.
But I can't
All we
imagine
can
it's
do is bring that to
17
you next
cents.
month.
As I told the property owner in our last discussion, you know, you've got the protection of eminent domain. If it ultimately goes there, you've got the protection of eminent domain where you can go before a judge and make your argument there, and the judge or jury will ultimately decide what the fair price is. So, you know, and I think this one may be one that's headed that way, so who knows? So-
Well, it's
We
in
can stop it.
negotiations right now, but I will tell you, you know, we have got,
Councilman Wade made a good point, that we could stop it if we could actually get some numbers together. It's almost like we're
that's
having
what we're
a,
trying to do.
Well, but just to
Didn't I
Charlie's
just
point
say
about
that?
it may be headed that way, this is
Yeah.
something,
that we can put,
I hate to say small numbers, but in the
Avoid.
midst of the budgets we just passed, it's small numbers, something we can stop before it has to escalate to such a level.
$30-something million budget, and we're talking about
A $10,000.
between 17 cents and $1.50 a square foot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
All right, any other new business? Okay.
like to have a request, I'd like, Lon, I think the council members as a whole, I'm speaking for myself, but y'all can kind of nod, would like to hear, where we're moving on this. Keep us posted, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Announcements. We've got November 28th and 29th, Thanksgiving holiday. City offices will be closed. Thursday's garbage will be picked up on Wednesday. November 27th, Friday's garbage will be picked up on Monday, on the 2nd of December. The 29th, as mentioned before, Trail of Lights will be open for the season. It'll be open daily from 5 p.m. to midnight. Please go and view that, and if you feel so moved, please donate to it. December 5th, we have a pancake breakfast honoring retired city employees at the Senior Center starting at 8:30 a.m. On December 7th, we have a Sherwood Christmas Parade and Winterfest. The parade will begin at 10 a.m. Sherwood Fest will then begin at 11:30, where the prizes for the parade will be awarded, and the kickoff for all the entertainment will begin then. Please mark your calendars to come to Winterfest. We will be having the lighting of the first annual lighting of the Sherwood Christmas tree. Will be at approximately 5:30. That will be at the finale of the Top of the Rock Women's Course, which is a Sherwood-based course group that performs nationally, and then we'll begin the Midnight South Christmas concert. During the Winterfest, there will also be things such as the Chamber of Commerce are hosting not only the pavilion where we've got Pictures with Santa, but also the gingerbread making houses, and that will be entered in, as well as the Christmas cookies. If you would like to participate in building a gingerbread house to submit, you could do so December 2nd at the Senior Center If you'll please give them a call, and they can give you all the information on that. We've got Ugly Sweater Bingo for 9th through 12th graders happening at 6 p.m. at the Jack Evans Senior Center. And then please remember December 16th, we've got the City Council meeting at 6 p.m. at the City Council chambers. We don't have anybody signed up for a public comment, so I'll take a motion for adjournment. Got movement by Councilmember Broderick and a second by Councilmember Thomas.
Thank you, Charlie.